Hello, we're live. Sorry about that. Had some technical difficulties starting out, trying to find music. So hopefully what I got now is not too distracting. I can always turn it down. But welcome, one and all. It's a great day today, I would say. Got back into the swing of things. I don't know, I always struggle after like missing anything, like a week or a session or whatever. But this time wasn't so bad, I gotta say.
Honestly, kind of same. Today's been weird. This whole week's been weird because I've just been in this state of like not wanting to do anything. Probably because this is my winter break, and this is like the first time I haven't had to worry about school for like a good 3 months. But so yeah, I've been personally very lazy this week. I've had bouts of productivity. I've just been playing Blasphemous all week, to be honest.
You're not hearing Glue Boy? You should be.
What's up?
Speak for me again, Alex.
Hello, hello, hello.
Okay, now you can hear him now. Strange.
Maybe
Yeah,
I was.
you're registering for me, so.
I don't know. Maybe I was quieter than the music for you. I don't know.
Maybe. Turn the music down just a skosh.
I'll just have my mic a little closer then. I was talking, but.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah. We've been doing pretty good. Honestly, I think since I missed the Saturday, like, upload time, we have, we've been a little short on subs for the week, but we're still not doing that bad. We're at 369. Fuck yeah. Nice. Great number.
Funny number.
I think we'll get a bunch, especially with these two videos coming out. And honestly, like, despite everything, the channel's been, like, bopping. Bunch of people have been coming in. Bunch of people have been commenting. Even when we did our session 0, like, a bunch of people. We had, like, 32 people coming when we were streaming.
Oh, shit.
There's a lot of people.
That is very cool.
Yeah, and we get more people joining the Discord. Like, it's all good.
I mean, I'm personally excited because now we have. It's not going to just be me in the Warhammer chat.
Yeah, I saw you were talking to that new guy about.
I was like, finally, I could discuss meta, like the meta, with people. I'm not a competitive person in any way. I just really like analyzing the competitive scene.
Yeah, I mean,
so
there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh yeah, no, it's it's a good time. You know, having games, like, play what you want to play, but I do like learning what's good and what's broken. And some shit's gonna get way more broken in the next few weeks. I'm very excited to read about it. Thank you, Slug. I was very happy with the Swashbuckler video. Definitely not because I just had a retinue of clips ready.
I thought it was really good. And
it.
Despite the views, like, it got a lot of subs, so it did its job.
Oh yeah.
I think it's just one of those kind of classes that because it's not shared with D&D, a lot less people stop by to, like, check it out.
I can see that. If you're looking for Swashbuckler, you know what Pathfinder is, and you probably know what a Swashbuckler is, to be honest. But, like, yeah, that video was a great time because it was just an excuse to show a bunch of clips I like from a game I love. So, I don't know, if they come up with a class that's just basically Kiryu from the Yakuza series, I'll edit that for you as well.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do the obligatory Yakuza 0 24-hour Cinderella edit, where it's that happy karaoke song with horrific violence edited in it.
Yeah.
That is the you're contractually obligated if you're making a video about Yakuza to include that. and you have to make an edit to make it like to show all the Yakuza violence or weird shit.
I legitimately can't wait for the Barbarian video to come out. There's some fun edits in that one that I'm excited for.
Hell yeah! And the preview I'll give the audience is I included a clip from one of the few really good anime that's out there.
That's very subjective. But
no, it's objective.
It's very subjective.
I say it's objective.
Mm-hmm.
I am an unbiased man who speaks only in fact.
In the future, that's going to be clipped.
Perfect.
And then it's just going to be a bunch of you being super biased. A bunch of clips of you just being super biased.
Oh my god, that'd be hysterical.
That would be really great.
Just I am unbiased in everything I do. Then a long compilation, 10 minutes of me saying very dumb and subjective things.
It's crazy, honestly, how much we've been growing. Like, I apparently I found out, I was on Twitter and someone mentioned this. Apparently Christmas is actually really bad for views.
I'm not surprised.
So it was just one of those things where just like we did really, really good, and then December hit, and we suddenly did not as good.
To be honest, I kind of contribute to that a little bit because I have a really weird holiday tradition for Christmas. I only watch one YouTube channel during the Christmas season, like once I actually go on vacation, and that's Red Letter Media. I love Red Letter Media, but I only watch them during Christmas, where I just binge all of their year's content. Like, I don't know, I've been doing this for like 4 years, like in a row.
And well deduced, Flame Lad. Well deduced.
You're completely right. I am a JoJo fan. I'm not now. Granted, I'm not the annoying JoJo fan, as I'm not talking about it 24/7.
That's true.
But yeah,
or trying to convince everyone that it's the best anime ever.
Yeah, it's really not. It's really
or
not.
Trying to convince everyone that like every anime ever was just inspired by JoJo's.
It's really dumb.
I literally met someone who just like all the time they're just like, oh yeah, they took that from JoJo, and I'm just like, it's a very common narrative device.
It's true. It is also true that like there are a good chunk of shows, manga, or like whatever out there that are inspired by JoJo because it was an influential series. But it doesn't mean that everything is like JoJo. And also, yeah, it's really annoying, like when people just don't shut the fuck up about JoJo. Sometimes I don't want to talk about it. I like that series, but it's one of those series that I watch once and I absorb all the information of, so I don't need to really engage in it again. But you know I'm binging Stone Ocean like the day it drops. Because I already binged this last chunk. I'm waiting for the next one.
It's going to be good. I still need to catch up on it, honestly.
I'm excited for some future, some of the like future fights. Because there's some fun ones. Also, I want to see how they traverse the absolute legal nightmare that is Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah. I'm sure.
I get to see my favorite quote animated of, what the fuck, where's Mickey? There's no Mickey, this shit ain't Disney.
That would be really good. Who says that?
Anasui.
Ah.
He's in the back of a truck and he's looking at a map of Walt Disney World being like, yes, I'm happy, but Mickey Mouse is just gone. It's just like a silhouette.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I think the thing that really gets me about like the channel and everything, a year from now, it's not even going to be recognizable from what it is right now.
Hell yeah.
It's a lot of work, but you know, it's going to pay off. I've also thought of some interesting video series for after this one. There's a few. If I can ever get a good camera, I would also like to do like some more skit kind of videos. But one of the ones that Suzanne brought to me was just finding the weird, like, unique creatures to Pathfinder and doing videos on those.
Yeah, do like a bestiary thing. That'd be a great idea.
Yeah, well, just like the fun ones, like the fun, weird ones.
Yeah, it'd be a great time. That's a great idea.
I legitimately think that there's some monsters in Pathfinder that are actually really fun. Like, they have interesting mechanics, and they're more than just like a stat block with like some powerful attacks. I really like that.
Yeah, there's some very unique Pathfinder enemies that you've thrown at us that I thought were like really cool. And so like, you know, and if I'm ever playing like a lot of campaigns, I refuse to read the monster book because I want to be surprised for what the DM throws at me. So in that way, like, it forces me to like not metagame. I don't metagame. I just don't do that. But it's a good way to like force myself to not even consider it. So if you just had a series where you're just talking about the fun or goofy shit in the Pathfinder Bestiary, I'd watch that shit. Sounds like a great time.
Yeah, so and that one's actually a really good one to throw in the middle of the week because like all it is just me doing a little like stat block on the creature, saying some things why I think it's awesome. Like, it's an easy 10-minute video for just like a monster during the week. That's just short, easy to digest, and I don't know. I think it'll be nice, especially for those people who just suck at like retaining any information. Because then it's just one video on one creature rather than like, here's my top 5 favorite creatures, which those videos do well. But I think bite-sized chunks is better.
Yeah, people like that list format. Also, that is a very good question by Flameloud. I'm curious what your answer to that is.
The topic for today's video is character builds.
Yeah, is it just like Pathfinder or just specific, like general, like tabletop?
Well, I think it's going to be a little bit of both. I think we're mostly going to talk about generic character building for games, why people do it, why some people dedicate literal hours of their time to doing just character builds, and why some people have whole booklets full of character builds that they'll never use because they just made too many.
I wonder who you're calling out here.
That's a good question because I'm not even calling anyone out specifically. There's just too many people that do it.
There are 2 people that I know that do that.
There's one close to home I know.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes.
But also, especially like, some of the comments are so interesting on some of the videos. Someone commented recently, and their comments are like whole book chapters. Like 6-7 paragraphs, and I'm just like, I read it, and I was just like, well, like, thanks for commenting like a whole fucking chapter of a book for this video. Awesome.
People are have a lot to say. It's very cool.
Hell, there's sometimes even where we did like a session 0 for something, and someone was just right there making a character with us, just saying all the stuff in the chat, and I was just like, awesome, you know.
That's really fun. That's a fun little thing to do.
And Devin's notorious for that. He'll have a character, and then like a week later, be like, "Nah, I got a new idea." Like, any DM who has him is just like, you gotta force him to make it a character and commit. Otherwise, he'll have a new character up until the day of. I
love being in a campaign with Devin as like the lead up to it, like the 3 weeks before a campaign starts.
Yeah.
It's a good time to just get a message out of the blue, be like, here's my character idea. Then as he's explaining it, he has another one. I just like seeing his thought process. It's very fun, and I like also I think a lot of the builds he throws at me are like fun, so it's fun to talk about. It is something I look forward to every time like I start a new game with him. Or not even in a game with them. He'll sometimes just do this just to talk about it. It is fun just to talk character builds.
That's fair. Well, might as well hop into the video then. Just wanted to make sure before I share the stream to... Don't think they'd be too happy with being a link to a video not... Oh, that's fair. Yeah, I mean... A lot of it will be relevant to Pathfinder builds.
If I bring stuff up, I'm probably going to bring up Pathfinder 2e because like I've made more builds in Pathfinder than I have any other system. because like this system is the one I like actually enjoy making characters for the most.
I legitimately, me too. I've never played in a system that I've just wanted to make as many characters as Pathfinder.
It's a lot of cool,
There's
like
a lot of fun ones.
It's a lot of cool options, and I have a method that I found some use for. That I'd probably have. Oh, I will probably bring up and maybe even give some examples.
That's fair. Well, let's talk about character building, shall we? So there's two primary character builds. There's mechanical character builds and narrative character builds. And then in those two, there's 3 ways it can go. You either make a serious character, you make a powerful character, or you make a meme character. And it goes both ways. Narrative characters and character builds specifically are builds that don't care about the like what the character actually does. They don't care about optimization. They just make a character based on the narrative they set for them.
Fair.
Mechanical builds are, they see something in the game they like, some ability, advantage, some, like feat tree, whatever, and they make a character based on it. And even in a narrative style character build, you can still have power gamers, because there's some characters who they want their character to be super awesome, so they make a super jack of all trades who can do anything. They're not necessarily power gamers in the normal sense of they're just focused on winning encounters. They're power gamers in the sense that their character always seems to have an answer to a solution no matter what scene they're in.
Yeah.
And especially with like rogues. Rogues are really popular in that field because they get so many skills and so many skill feats. It's ridiculous.
I always found that aspect of like character creation, people do that, really interesting. Mainly because like I do the absolute polar opposite of that. Which, I don't know, depending on what your planned flow is, I can get into that later.
Well, yeah, we'll talk more about like the basics before we go into like actual character builds.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I kind of like to make a mix. I like making mechanical builds that are very narratively flavored. And I'll make a build that does a particular thing, and then I'll throw in a bunch of fluff around it. So the build isn't fully optimized, but it's like it has enough of the mechanical stuff that I find interesting.
Yeah.
But I think in the end, I always make narrative characters, because the whole point of tabletop in general is to tell a story, There's plenty of battle games you can play where you can optimize your stats and stuff. So this is the only kind of game where the story and the narrative means more than anything else.
Yeah. Because I do, I often do that, but it depends. I've, Pathfinder, I've been making more, like, I guess, mechanical builds. Like, builds to do specific things and, like, function a specific way in actual gameplay. But a lot of times, yeah, I just make a character and then I form the class around the character. I find that works the best for me, especially because I have enough difficulty making a character as is. Like, I'm just not... I cannot sit down and, like, come up with a character. I have to, like, come up with one naturally. And, like, because that just... For me to make a character I give a shit about, I have to, like, make them realistic in my own head. So... a lot of different things that go into it. Though, yeah, Pathfinder, I've been making more mechanical builds, like my gunslinger, my magus, and my the rogue that I've been building and working on to play in these short campaigns.
Yeah, I have to be inspired to make a character, but also I can get easily inspired. Like, hell, just going onto Pinterest and just looking up fantasy character art, and I'll see a bunch of things. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I'd like to make a character on that, and it's one and done. It's pretty easy.
Nice. I should try doing that, honestly. I don't know why I've never done that. I usually make up a character then find stuff for them after the fact.
Yeah, I think it's easier because you have something you can visually like pull information from to like inspire ideas off of. Like a lot of the characters I make are either inspired off of anime or manga, something I see. Not even the like protagonists, but just like the concepts I see in the game or in the whatever it is, or art. I'll see some really good art and I'll be like, oh man, this person looks like this, and I bet they'd have abilities like this, and bam, bam, boom, have character made.
I mean, I actually do something similar, but not for anime because I don't watch anime or that much anime. I will often make a character that is just like this character, but in Pathfinder, and then I do it by doing that. I'm exploring the classes, finding different feats and abilities, and then like I usually branch off and create a character off of that. I guess one of the best examples I can give is the character I played in the A New Slate campaign, Calden. I actually built from a character build of Ezio Auditore from I know I probably butchered that. From Ezio from the Assassin's Creed series. I just wanted to make an assassin poisoner build, and that's where I made Calden. Because then I like went into it and I was like, the idea of like blending into a crowd is a great idea. What will give me like ways to do this? And like poisoning enemies, like doing a quick poison prick then walking away sounds like a great time. So like, how can I do that?
Well, Slug has verified you, so you've at least
good.
pleased one person.
Yeah. I do not speak any other language. So.
I think a lot of people have different like inspirations for things. I guess I can call it, I have like a bit of an ego when it comes to tabletop stuff, and I'll see really terrible builds and I just want to do them better. There's like character cliches, or like I'll hear a story of how someone does a character, and just the first thing that always pops into my mind is I could do that better.
Yeah, it works for you.
I don't know. I think what it is, I think that people genuinely have good ideas, just very poor execution of said ideas.
I know I do. When it comes to the actual build part, yeah, because I don't have the patience to sit down and like make my shit like optimal or like really good. I just kind of look, I see that looks fun, and I just pick it. Or I'm like, ooh, that my characters would like to do that, and I just grab it. I don't put any extra thought into it. I don't plan out my characters like 10 levels in advance. I know what they're gonna get when I level up. Because I mean, like, all really it is just making a character that you like to play. Whatever method that gets you to that point, that's what matters.
I think a part of it as well is I try to help people make characters for games. And so the mindset really helps when it comes to like fleshing out character ideas. Because there's a YouTuber I watch called Splattercat. And I love his videos and everything like that. And he's the kind of guy who loves playing like dwarven warriors kind of person. He just loves that like aesthetic. And literally, I think earlier today, I was going to the store to go exchange a jacket I got for Devin for a bigger one, which I give to him. So no surprise there. Not spoiling Christmas or anything. I was just like, okay, I bet he would come at me with like a standard like Scottish sounding dwarven accent. So how could I approach him and be like, hey, why don't we try an accent from like this different angle? It could still be an accent, but let's not go as cliche with it. And that's just the thought that comes to my mind instantly. Is just, let's just take something that everyone does and just tweak it a little bit to make it better. and more unique.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I came up with Calden because I thought of a character idea where I wanted a character that had the skills of an edgelord rogue but didn't act like it, like in the slightest. I just want to play. I like rogue stuff. It's just it's a thing a lot. I think a lot of tabletop players get to that point of like, rogue has so many cool abilities. How the fuck do I not play an absolute edgelord? So I mean, yeah, I got around it. I made a character I really like playing, who is brutal as fuck and very scary, but also just kind of a nice guy. I mean, yeah, it's
not in a very Mary Stu kind of way either, which is really nice.
He has a lot of. I mean, if you actually like go back and listen to some of the things he says, like it's very clear he's got some like his own issues. He's definitely. I definitely never want to make my characters a Mary Stu, which actually comes to a thing I do in my own character builds that I do primarily in Anima because it gives me the options to do so. But like, I'm looking for ways to do it in Pathfinder. I love giving my DM an off button for my character. When I make my build, I want something that my DM can throw at me to immediately like throw a wrench in the works. Something that'll just shut off my character like utterly. It's something Cameron has to deal with for every character I play.
Yeah. And a lot of your characters have been permanently shut off.
So... Yes, they have. Have I learned? No.
But yeah, and actually, I'm something similar like that. I love having characters with horrendous flaws and then turning those into strengths.
Yeah. It's the thing I always look into when it comes to character building because I always approach any campaign with what happened in this person's life to make him think going out and adventuring is a good idea. Because when you actually think about it, adventuring is the absolute dumbest thing you could do in these worlds. It is incredibly dangerous. You're most likely going to die, and everyone you meet will like probably hate you. Like there is no great option for like most adventurers. Maybe not like 10% of adventurers are actually successful. Like what the fuck? Why would they want to do it? And I have the opinion that to become an adventurer probably need to be a very broken person. So that's where I always approach all my characters from.
Very broken or very cocky?
Yeah. And when they're cocky, they usually are broken in some way that they just hide.
Fair. It's kind of off topic, but like earlier I was legitimately thinking like sometimes games just need villains who are just terrible people because they're terrible people.
Yes.
And I was thinking to myself like, but is that realistic? And then I thought about it and yeah,
some people are shitheads.
There's a lot of people. There's a ridiculous amount of people who are just very terrible or very misguided that say horrific things for absolutely no reason. And in a world where like martial law or martial like more people are more physically trained for fighting, I would 100% guarantee there's people out there more than I think anyone would ever be comfortable with that would commit horrendous acts because they just didn't give a shit.
No, like DMs out there, you can make villains that are just evil for the sake of evil. Not everything needs to be super logical and justified. They can just be a shithead. And it's fun. I've long said like some of my favorite villains are the ones that are just evil for the sake of evil because they're just fun to like watch and fight. It's just
I think there's a pretty good blend. I mean, what Flame said is a good type of villain. They're just the heroes of their own story. I do love those kind of narratives. True. But there's also people legitimately out there who are aware of how shitty they are and they just don't care. Or they have given up on caring about it.
But like, and also just some of the most fun villains in like anything are usually the ones that are just like, why are you doing this? It's kind of fun.
Yeah, the Joker is a good example. Like,
Yeah.
the Joker, depending on who's writing him, the Joker often knows that he's doing really shitty things, and he's just like, but I don't care. It's funny, you know. And that's just what it is. You know, he's not trying to be the hero of his own story or nothing. It's just chaos for the sake of chaos.
Yeah, he's just a nice guy out there, you know, like when a nice guy loses patience, the devil shivers. Says all those fucking Joker quotes.
All those Joker quotes, yeah.
I mean, yeah, besides that, like there's Frieza. Frieza's a great fucking time. They're just fucking Space Napoleon and just wants to blow shit up. That's a great time.
So, I mean, like, yeah, you can have even like a nation of just terrible people, because there's a bunch of people who are very willing to unite under very terrible flags. And I don't even need to give examples. We've seen it all.
Yeah.
Especially these last few years. And then there's like countries like North Korea, and you're just like, yeah, there's literally bad people in this world. But I don't know. I think it's always dependent on the narrative and the story, because I think legitimately the best villains are the ones that you could be friends with if things were just a little different.
Yeah, those are usually fun.
Or the ones who are like so charismatic that despite the shitty things they do, you still can't hate them.
Yeah.
There's some really good villains out there. There's Made in the Abyss is an anime recently, and they've been having a lot of videos popping up on YouTube recently, and one of the characters really stuck out to me, which is Bondrewd, who's like the villain of the first or this current arc. And he's this guy. So the premise of Made in the Abyss is that the further you go into this like dungeon system, right, bad things happen to you. You get cursed equivalently. Once you go past the 5th layer, you die unless you meet certain circumstances. And Bondrewd is an individual who has built a large safe zone right on the edge of between the 5th and the 6th layers. And he does a lot of terrible science for the greater good. And one of the aspects of the 6th layer is that you can get past it if someone willingly sacrifices themselves for you. And Bondrewd has been testing this, and he has all these like children that he's very caringly raised and cared for, tended to their mental and physical needs and all that kind of stuff. And then he does horrible experiments on them. And as he does so, he's just kind of like, good job, you know, you're really working hard. If you can get past this, it'll make you stronger. I believe in you. And he's not like malicious in any sense, despite the terrible things he does. And the entire time, after like the characters beat him in this chapter, he's just like, good job. You're all really strong. I hope you go suffer a lot and grow stronger for it. Just a very strange and intriguing character.
Sounds like an anime villain.
And I think trying to get back on subject here.